Have you noticed that leadership feels more emotionally exhausting than it used to? More tears, more defensiveness, more pushback to feedback, more people shutting down when they're overwhelmed. If part of your job feels like managing everyone else's emotions right now, you're not imagining it. A Monster.com survey conducted before the pandemic found that 80% of people had cried at work. And since then, research has shown that anxiety and depression levels have increased throughout the general population. People are genuinely showing up to work more stressed than they were just a few years ago. And workplace stress hasn't gone away. So when you combine the stress that people bring to work and the stress that people experience at work, it's not surprising that leaders are seeing more emotional responses in the workplace today. If we haven't met yet, I'm Dr. Alicia Granholm, a leadership strategist with a doctorate in strategic leadership. And I help leaders navigate the reality of modern leadership so they can build strong teams, think strategically, and still have a life outside of work. Here's what I want to challenge today. Most leaders are solving the wrong problem, and here's why. No one is responsible for other people's emotional responses. We cannot control how somebody else feels. So if you try to take responsibility for everyone's emotions, you're going to exhaust yourself. What you can control as a leader, though, is the stability you create at work. That's where your leadership actually matters. Here's the distinction that makes this workable. All feelings are okay. Not all behaviors are. You're not responsible for whether someone feels frustrated, anxious, or overwhelmed. That's part of being human. But when that frustration turns into outbursts, shutting people down, or constant tensions in meetings, that's a behavior. And behaviors are something you, as a leader, can and should address. So when leaders wonder if they should lower expectations because people seem more overwhelmed than they used to be, my answer is no. The answer isn't lower expectations. The answer is lower unnecessary workplace stress. And let me show you what that looks like. Stress shows up in all kinds of ways. Tears, defensiveness, shutting down, over-explaining. These aren't attitude problems. They're actually nervous system responses. Understanding that changes how you lead, not because it's your job to fix it, but because it changes what you focus on as a leader. I'm a natural crier, and when I first got married, I told my husband that my emotions will come out of my eyes before I actually know what I'm feeling. For me, it's tears or overwhelm or irritability. For somebody else, it's defensiveness. For someone else, it's going quiet. For someone else, it's avoidance. And the physical reactions often show up before a person has processed what's going on inside of them. Jefferson Fisher calls tears stress in liquid form. I love that. But here's the thing. You cannot control which stress response someone has. What you can control is how much unnecessary workplace stress they're carrying into that moment. So let's talk about what creates unnecessary workplace stress and what you can actually do about it. Ambiguity around roles and responsibilities. When people aren't sure who owns something, they start playing hot potato, worried that work will land on them that really isn't theirs. So make each role and its responsibilities clear for everyone. I like to focus on the desired outcomes of a role rather than specific tasks, which will likely change over time anyway. Unnecessary workplace stress is also caused by meetings that don't solve anything. One of the reasons my team has loved our meetings is because we use them to actually solve problems, not just discuss them. When people know obstacles will be addressed, not just talked about or around for that matter, their confidence goes up and their stress goes down. So design your meetings to remove barriers for people. Unnecessary workplace stress is also caused by unprotected time to focus. The two complaints I hear most right now, there are too many meetings and I don't have any time to do my work. Everyone needs uninterrupted time to work. Leaders do too. So Protect people's time to work by starting with holding at least 10% of your own time on your calendar for deep focus work. And then please encourage your team members to do the same. As a leader, you can also make success obvious. Everyone should know what success looks like in their role. Unspoken expectations are major morale killers. When people are guessing whether they're doing a good job, stress goes up. Make sure people have what they need to succeed at their job. And when change is coming, start by telling people what's not changing. That alone reduces a lot of anxiety. Even when you do all this, sometimes someone's stress starts affecting the rest of the team. Constant interruptions, repeated outbursts, shutting people down in meetings, that needs to be addressed directly and quickly. The longer leaders wait, the more likely they are to lose their best people. Now, even if you've done all these things, people will still cry sometimes. People will still get defensive. People will still over-explain. People will still shut down when they're overwhelmed because people are human. But if you've created clarity, stability, support, and healthy expectations, then you can be confident that you're doing what is actually within your control as a leader. So when those moments happen, you can be supportive without feeling like you need to become someone's therapist. You can offer tissues, you can pause the conversation, you can ask if they'd like a moment, you can ask what's going on, and most importantly, you can listen. Because we cannot control how people will respond. Your job is not to eliminate every emotional response. Your job is to create a workplace stable enough that people can do their best work while still being fully human. That's leadership. And in a world where people are carrying more stress than ever, that kind of leadership matters more than ever. If this video was helpful, subscribe. This channel is for leaders who are done reacting and ready to lead strategically and sustainably. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.